Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Wednesdays with Whitney. This is going to be a weekly segment on Wednesdays, hopefully right around noon. Let's see if I can stick to that, where I talk about all things photography related, wedding related, senior portrait related, and generally answering a lot of those questions that I get on a regular basis. So today's going to be really basic, and for those of you that know me well, it's going to be probably a little repetitive, so thanks for sticking with me in advance, but this is just going to be an introduction to what I do here at Ivory House. So as a lot of you know, I just moved back to Des Moines about a year and a half ago. So I moved back in February of last year, and I very intentionally moved back to start Ivory House Photography. It was really important to me to come home. I went to Johnston High School. I'm a graduate of University of Iowa. This place is, Iowa is a place I've loved forever. I lived in Rochester, New York for 7 years. After University of Iowa, I went out there to get my graduate degree in photography. And I accidentally stayed for quite a while. So I ended up getting my master's out there in photography, and then I worked for another photographer for 4 years, and I managed her studio. And Natalie, hopefully you're watching this now or at some point very soon, but Natalie Siniscali was my previous boss in Rochester. We worked together for 4 years, and that was the best experience I could have possibly had going into owning my own business. Making the decision to move home was an easy one. At some point I woke up and I realized that it was time to strike out on my own, and I knew that there was no better place in the world to open my business than in Des Moines, Iowa. I'd watched Des Moines over the years really become a place that was just very community-based. I would come home for a week over Christmas and meet so many people that were working to improve the community, and I knew that it was a place that I could make an impact. So loving every second of living here in Des Moines. A question I get asked quite frequently is, why did I decide to start my business? And really it was an easy answer. Once I realized what I wanted to do, which was photograph people for the rest of my life, and I had had all that experience in New York photographing people, managing a studio, I knew that I wanted to do it on my own, and I knew that I wanted to do it in the community that I'd grown up in. So what do I photograph? And Winston's right here, you'll see him in a second. I photograph people. I love people. When I was in high school, I thought I was going to become a counselor, which in some senses, I think photography, or at least the way that I do it, has a little bit of that counseling aspect, depending on the day. But I do a lot of professional headshots and portraits. I shoot a ton of weddings, which I just adore. And I shoot senior high school portraits, families, maternity sessions, newborn sessions, really anything where people are involved. I show up at a lot of events. So if you're at the Botanical Gardens or the World Food Prize or the Food Bank of Iowa, I am shooting all their events all the time, and I love the people I get to meet through those interactions. A comment that I get all the time is, wow, like your business grew so fast, so quickly. And they're right, it did. It's a little crazy. And I think part of that is that Des Moines is amazing. And I came back and I had a really clear idea of what I wanted my business to be and who I wanted to impact and how I wanted to work in this town. And just being clear about what I wanted and how I wanted to photograph, people really got on board instantly. And I can't thank this community enough. I can't thank all the people who took me out to lunch when I first moved back and had no idea what I was doing here, or those people who took me out to coffee in the very beginning are irreplaceable in my life. That your confidence in me before I had confidence in myself is beyond. And also, I worked for somebody else for 4 years, and I have an undergraduate degree in photography and a master's in photography. So I came back to start my own business armed with a lot of education and a lot of business experience. So a lot of people ask me, what is the favorite thing about my job? The favorite thing about my job is the people I get to meet. I think I might be the luckiest human in the world based on the amazing people that I've gotten to photograph. And if you follow me on Facebook, then you know that my clients are some of the most positive, energetic, passionate people that exist. And I don't know how I've gotten so lucky. Also, I get to have my dog with me at work every day. You're gonna get to see him really soon. And that is well, I should say our dog, Hunter and I's dog. Hunter's my brother. So those are a couple of my favorite things. A lot of people ask, how did I name my business? So I think it's pretty fairly uncommon for a photographer's business to be named anything other than themselves, which I just knew when I started my business that I wanted something that was more than just my name. I wanted to create a feeling and a place for people to come and engage. And I knew that someday this business will be bigger than me, and someday it'll hopefully incorporate more people than me. And I wanted to create space for that. So Ivory House is just a combination of all of the things that I really value. Photos are your legacy. I wanted something that sounded like it would last forever. Because photos are what outlives us. Also, I thought about the brands that inspired me, so Chanel and Tiffany's, and these brands that really live with our culture, and they've outlasted the people who started them. So those are the things that are important to me. So somebody's asking what inspires me, and that's the easiest question to answer. I photograph in the studio all the time, and I photograph weddings, and I'm out and about, but really what inspires me is the people in front of me. I don't have any special tips or tricks. I just really get to know the people that walk in my door, and I try to find out what's important to them and what makes them laugh and what makes them feel comfortable or uncomfortable. It's really just working with and collaboratively with the people who are trusting me with their photos. So I would love to give you a little studio tour. Now you're gonna get to meet Winston. So here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go outside and come in so you guys can see this happen. All right, are we ready? Yay. Okay, so here is the entrance to my studio. So you'll see this, I'm at 1300 Walnut Street. It's on the corner of 13th and Walnut. I'm near the Sculpture Garden. You can hear, there's Winnie Bear. This is Winston. This is my full-time companion. Love him tons. Winston, say hi. Yes, okay, so there's Winston. And over here is Megan. Megan is my apprentice. She's been with me, well, longer than this summer. When did you start with me?
Last September.
Oh my gosh, last September, so long. Time has flown. And Megan helps keep me sane and really just helps me with pretty much everything. So we're actually gonna be previewing her family photos later this afternoon, so you'll get to see those. Awesome, thanks Megan. Yeah. So a little bit more about this space. When you walk in, over here is a wall of awesome. So I recently did a styled shoot with a couple of my favorite vendors. Bella Flora was on this. My models for this are Kelsey Russell and my fabulous brother and dog daddy to Winston, Hunter Warren. So these are actually metal prints on the wall here. You can see Creme Cupcake there on the bottom and Ephemera there on the top, and then Joseph's Jewelers. And then Skeffington's did the tuxes for these, and Weddings by Design did the dress, and then hair and makeup was the lovely Lindsay Mullenhauer and Ivy Boyd. So it really takes a village to do what I do, and I'm so happy to have met the people in Des Moines that I can trust to do this with. So this is, you know, the stuff. So this is where people come and they see their photos. So if you've done a photo shoot with me, you know that I love having in-person viewing sessions. I think it's really important that to close the loop on that. I think it's really difficult to choose photos of yourself by yourself. How are you supposed to do that? So, oh, hey buddy. So you guys come in, sit down with me, and then we pick photos together. So there's that. And then I got a new couch. Everybody excited about this? Pretty into the new couch. This is my shooting space. So it looks really simple, black wall. This is my white wall. I've got my brick wall. You'll see that I really don't have a lot of stuff in here. I like to keep it pretty simple. I think it's important to really focus on the people in the studio, and I don't really have a ton of gear here. So, and then this is the consult table, or if I have people over, we just have a great time dining and hanging out. So it's just one big room. So that is the space. Bringing you back. So thank you all so much for joining me today. Next week, I will be featuring a bride of mine. We're gonna start asking and answering some of those questions, how to plan a wedding that doesn't drive you crazy, or what should you think about when you're hiring a photographer. And this particular bride is just about to see her wedding photos, so she's gone through the entire process with me and will be able to answer a lot of your questions. So, in the upcoming week, if you guys have questions about if you're planning a wedding or just have questions about how to get through that with your sanity intact, please feel free to add that to this feed and we will happily answer your questions. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye.